Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson has had a really, really bad week. In fact, he had a bad month of April. He's had a bad 2026, and he had a really horrible 2025 as well. Mike Johnson is the most incompetent and unaccomplished Speaker of the House that I think we've probably had in my entire lifetime. And of course, statistically, that is also true. He, as Speaker of the House, has passed the fewest number of bills compared to any other speaker this century. He is that bad, and this week it all came to a head. The House of Representatives was supposed to vote on a number of bills this week, to the point where one Republican had referred to it going into the week as Hell Week. We have a lot we have to do that has to get done this week. FISA, which they've put a stopgap on because they couldn't quite get it done. The Farm Bill didn't happen. The ethanol bill didn't happen. And, of course, Mike Johnson repeatedly told Republicans, we're going to get this, don't worry, I'm going to have this for you, for your constituents, particularly with the Farm Bill, and then he canceled the votes. And then he got cursed out to his face by a Republican representative in their meeting on Wednesday, so he put it back on the schedule, but they still weren't able to get things done. The only thing he did is pass the DHS funding bill, which happens to be the same bill that back in March he said was a joke. We're not going to do this. We're not going to fund Department of Homeland Security without also funding Customs and Border Patrol and ICE. It's all or nothing. I'm standing my ground. And then, of course, Jocko Johnson always chickens out, right? And he allowed passage of the bill that he called a joke. So DHS did get mostly funded, except for the parts the Democrats held firm, and they won. So that, of course, is a remarkable feat. But Johnson's week was so much worse than just all this superficial voting, not voting, postponing, whatever. Republican Representative Chip Roy, far-right member of the House, screamed at Johnson in their meeting this week, saying, "We had an agreement today and then you changed it. I'm going to vote no." On Wednesday, or Tuesday, I guess it was, Lauren Boebert broke with Republicans to side with Democrats on a procedural vote that would have made it easier to pass these pieces of legislation. So Johnson can't even keep the weird MAGA freaks like Chip Roy and Lauren Boebert in line, even though, according to the regular Republicans, those are the people Johnson's catering to. So he's pissed off the fringe. He's pissed off the normies, if a Republican can be considered normie. So nobody likes him. In fact, it got so bad that according to Politico, Republican Representative Max Miller of Ohio said, "I think this guy has divided us with a smile." Without question, he said he will vote to remove Johnson as GOP leader in the next Congress. Without question, he says. Then, of course, you had Republican Representative Ann Wagner, who yelled a curse word at the speaker as he tried to explain away the changes to the Farm Bill. Then, Representative Marionette Miller Meeks reportedly voiced frustration shared across farm state delegations, saying, "We vote with leadership only to be abandoned on our priorities." Republican Representative Michelle Fischbach said, "It's pretty debilitating when you're supposed to follow a guy into battle, and I wouldn't trust him to get out of a wet paper bag with an M4. One House Republican who spoke to Politico about the bill negotiations this week said, "Do I believe him? Probably not." So everybody has turned against Mike Johnson. Now, the last time you had a handful of Republicans turn against the speaker, they voted to oust him, Kevin McCarthy, and we ended up, of course, with Mike Johnson. Johnson was supposed to be the pliable, we can get whatever we want from this guy, and turns out he is the most incompetent person they could have chosen. And that's not by accident. That's by design, right? That is the feature. We wanted an incompetent guy because we know we can do whatever we want. But unfortunately, they underestimated Johnson's own incompetence. So now, instead of doing whatever they want, nobody in any party, in any faction of any party, can get anything they want. So the whole thing blew up in Republicans' faces, and of course, it is costing them in the polls. But that's what happens when you put idiots in charge. We have an idiot in charge of the House. We got an idiot in charge of the Senate. Reports out this morning saying that Republicans in the Senate are considering changing leadership from Thune. That's how bad all these Republican leaders are. And then, of course, we've got Trump and his gaggle of morons in the White House that the public overwhelmingly hates. Even on the issue, this is hilarious, on the issue of gas prices, Donald Trump's approval rating is actually lower than Jimmy Carter's was during the gas crisis of the 70s. That's how bad this guy is doing. And of course, that's how bad Thune is doing in the Senate and how bad Johnson is doing in the House. Just a big old gaggle of idiots who have no idea what they're doing. None of them have any idea how to lead. And of course, chaos always follows. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, you can catch Fair and Balanced live every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. And if you're not already, please do subscribe, and don't forget to like, comment, and share the content.